Hi guys and welcome back to another video. Now today what I'm going to be bringing you is my 2021-22 championship playoff predictions. Now if you do go on to enjoy today's video, please make sure you drop a like on it. If you could try and hit 50 likes on today's video, that'd be massively appreciated. Subscribe if you are new as well. We are now on the road to 6,000 subscribers, so make sure you are subscribed if you haven't already. Get your score predictions in down in the comment section down below. Who do you think will be promoted into the Premier League? We'll be previewing both playoff final semi-leg.
Sorry, what?
And then we'll be speaking about who I think will win the final and be promoted into the Premier League. There's a lot of big clubs in the playoffs these days. The Championship is obviously a very tough league, but let's waste no further time and get on with today's video. So we are going to be starting out then with Luton versus Huddersfield. Luton finished the season in 6th place after 46 matches. They achieved 21 wins, 12 draws, 13 defeats, 63 goals scored, 55 goals conceded, leaving them on a positive 8 goal difference and 75 points. Their last 5 matches were a win, a loss, a draw, a win and a win. Luton conceding 55 goals, actually the most amount in the whole top 10 teams in the league, but because they managed to score 63, which granted was the joint lowest in the top 6, they still managed to achieve that 6th place. That then compared though to Huddersfield Town. Huddersfield finished the season 3rd in the table. After 46 games, they got 23 wins, 13 draws, 10 defeats, 64 goals scored, 47 goals conceded, leaving them on a positive 17 goal difference and 82 points. Their last 5 matches were a win, a win, a win, a win and a draw. If you have a look at both teams' last couple of results, Luton had a 1-0 win at home to Reading. I actually watched that match, and don't get me wrong, it wasn't the greatest spectacle of football. The goal that Luton scored was pretty lucky, to be honest, but it's poor from a Reading point of view. The keeper should be looking over his shoulder. The Reading defence should be telling him that someone's behind him, but Harry Cornick was very smart in the way that he made, that goal happen. Sometimes you got to create your own luck, and they managed to find a way to win that game. It didn't really matter in the end with Middlesbrough losing, because obviously Luton hadn't confirmed their playoff spot until the final game of the season. Before that though, they had their absolute hammering away at Fulham. They're losing 7-0 there. Now don't get me wrong, losing against Fulham, there's no real shame in that, but 7-0, probably slightly embarrassing to be honest with you. Before that, they had a 1-1 draw at home to Blackpool, a 1-0 win away at Cardiff, and then just before that, they had a 1-0 win at home to Nottingham Forest. Them two sides could potentially face each other in the playoff final. Naismith scoring a penalty in that game. Sonny Bradley did also get sent off. If you have a look at Huddersfield's last couple of matches then, they had a 2-0 win at home to Bristol City, a 2-1 win away to Coventry City, a 2-1 win at home to Barnsley, a 2-0 win away to Middlesbrough. I actually went to that game. I was in the Middlesbrough end, and I must say I was very impressed with Huddersfield from what I saw in that game defensively. They honestly, Middlesbrough just simply could not find a way through. The way they were defending was absolutely fantastic. Going forward, they were clinical as well, but just when I was watching them defend, just constantly throwing their bodies in front of it, properly playing for the badge and playing for the shirt, and that's the reason why there's obviously, nearly finished in an automatic promotion place, just missing out. And then the final game before that was a 2-2 draw at home to QPR. If you have a look at both teams' top scorers this season, Luton's top scorer was Elijah Adebayo. He finished with 16 goals, playing 40 matches, scoring 0.43 goals per 90, averaging a goal every 211 minutes. He took 54 shots throughout the season with a 30% conversion rate, and 59% of his shots were on target. If you have a look at Huddersfield's top scorer, it was Danny Ward. He scored 14 goals throughout the season. Playing 40 matches, he averaged 0.44 goals per 90, scoring a goal every 206 minutes. He took 63 shots throughout the season. 22% of them ended in a goal, and 57% of them ending up on target. If you have a look at the results earlier on in the season, Luton at their place finished in a 0-0 draw. Then the game at Huddersfield finished in a 2-0 win to the Terriers. So for me personally, I can only really see one team winning this tie. Luton, when I've seen them this season, I mean, granted, I don't really watch too much Championship football. I try to watch it when it's on telly every now and again, but from what I've seen of how strong Huddersfield were and how poor Luton were in that game against Reading, I know I'm pretty much basing it off of one game of football for each team, but that's all I've really seen. I don't think it'll be an easy game for both sides. I know Luton have been very resolute, and Nathan Jones is a fantastic manager. They've been doing very well since he returned to Kenilworth Road, but for the first leg, I'm going to go with, it is at Luton, so I think that home advantage of it being a tight ground, I think that is something that Huddersfield may potentially struggle with. We saw that in the game earlier on in the season. They failed to score past them. I'm going to go actually with a 1-0 win to Luton in the first leg, but in the second leg at Huddersfield, I think they'll just have enough, and I think they'll end up winning that 2-0, and Huddersfield will be going to the Championship playoff final. Moving on then to the second playoff semi-final fixture, it is Sheffield United versus versus Nottingham Forest. If we have a look at where both teams finished in the season, Sheffield United, we start with them. They finished 5th in the table. After 46 matches, they won 21 games, drawing 12, losing 13, scoring 63 goals, but also conceding 45, which left them on a positive 18 goal difference and 75 points. The last 5 matches ended in a win, a win, a win, a draw, and a loss. That then compared to Nottingham Forest, they finished 4th in the Championship table. After 46 games, they got 23 wins, 11 draws, 12 defeats, 73 goals scored, but they did also concede 40, which leads them on a positive 33 goal difference and 80 points. It was obviously that game against Bournemouth really was season defining. Unfortunately, it didn't go their way, and it is the reason why they have slipped into the playoffs. Their last 5 matches have been a draw, a loss, a win, and a win. If you have a look at the last 5 matches from both teams, Sheffield United obviously coming off that 4-0 hammering at home to Fulham, so fair play to them for that. You know, they needed something out of that game, I think, to confirm their playoff spot, and they absolutely trounced the champions 4-0. I mean, you could maybe argue Fulham were on the beach, but Sheffield United were absolutely fantastic in that game. Before that, they had a 3-1 win away at QPR, a 1-0 win at home to Cardiff. Cardiff never an easy side to play, and obviously they're not being great this season, but they still are very resolute, and you know, they're not the easiest side to beat. Before that, they had a 1-1 draw away to Bristol City, and then a 2-1 defeat at home to Reading. Then if we have a look at Nottingham Forest's last 5 matches, they had a 1-1 draw away at Hull City. Obviously that was a really crazy game. Brennan Johnson scoring a 93rd minute penalty to what would look like send the visitors home with all 3 points, but Keenan Lewis Potter with the 94th minute equaliser in that game, so the game did end in a 1-1 draw. Before that, they obviously did have that 1-0 defeat away at Bournemouth. They had a 5-1 win at home to Swansea. I did actually go to that game as well. There's vlogs of all these games that I've been to out on the channel, so please make sure you go check them out if you haven't already. As much as I gave Huddersfield a lot of praise from when I went to see them against Middlesbrough, Nottingham Forest in this game were absolutely fantastic, especially in that second half. They were so clinical. Obviously, Sam Surridge scoring a hat-trick against his former side. Before that, they had a 1-0 win away at Fulham, and then just before that, they had a 1-0 win away at Peterborough. So yes, granted, they have been on a little bit of a dodgy blip, you could call it, in their last 2 games, only picking up 1 point out of their last possible 6. If we have a look at the previous games against each other, the first game was at the City Ground. That finished in a 1-1 draw. And then on the 4th of March, they played again at Bramall Lane. That also did finish in a 1-1 draw. So both very... Not a lot really separates the 2 sides, both very cagey affairs. If you have a look at the top scorers for both teams, firstly, we'll go with Nottingham Forest. Brennan Johnson scoring 16 goals this season for the Reds. He played 46 matches, so I believe that's every league match, right? He scored 0.37 goals per 90, averaging a goal every 244 minutes. He took 63 shots throughout the season, scoring 25% of them, and 57% of them were on target. If we have a look then at Sheffield United's top scorer, no doubt it is Billy Sharp. I'm not too sure if he will be available for this fixture. I know they've had a lot of injuries recently at Sheffield United, especially to their attacking line, but I believe he is back fit now. He scored 14 goals though throughout the season, playing 39 matches, averaging 0.47 goals per 90, averaging a goal every 193 minutes. He took 53 shots throughout the season, 26% of those ending in a goal, and 57% of those shots being on target. In terms of score prediction for both games, the first leg at Bramall Lane, I think it will be a very cagey affair, and I think Sheffield United will just edge it 2-1. And then I think at the City Ground, I'm going to go with a 1-0 to Nottingham Forest, and then I'm going to go with Sheffield United to win on penalties. I think we'll go through extra time. I think if it was at the City Ground first, I think Nottingham Forest will get too much of a advantage in front of Sheffield United for them to be able to claw it back in the second leg. But with it being at Bramall Lane, it's a very, very tough place to go. I just think they'll have too much for Nottingham Forest in that leg, and then obviously it might be too much for them to do in that second leg. But I'm going to go with Sheffield United just to scrape past Nottingham Forest on penalties. I mean, it will be an all-Yorkshire final for a place in the Championship. If we compare the last couple of results, the results between both sides in the previous encounters at Bramall Lane, it did end up being a 2-1 away win to the Terriers, and then at Huddersfield Stadium, it did finish in a 0-0 draw. So going by them statistics, it doesn't look great for the Blades, who only picked up 1 point out of a possible 6. But I'm going to go with a Sheffield United 1, Huddersfield Town 1, and then on penalties, I'm going to go with Huddersfield to get promoted back into the Championship. I think it'll just about do it, and I think they will be promoted back into the Championship. That is just my prediction. Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section down below, because that is where I'm going to leave it for today's video. If you have enjoyed, a like as always will be massively appreciated. If you could try and hit 50 likes, as I said at the start of today's video, that'd be absolutely class. Subscribe if you are new as well. We are now on the road to 6,000 subscribers, so make sure you are subscribed if you haven't already. Have a great rest of your day. Thank you for watching, and I shall see you all very soon for another video. Peace.